Welcome to Horror Movies and Beyond. I'm your host, Ivotres Littles, and I'm here with director Tyler Cornack to talk about his horror comedy film, Tiny Cinema. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me. It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. I've been wanting to talk to you about this film since I had a chance to screen it because, man, I have to give you a round of applause.
Oh, thank you so much.
This was so funny and so much fun, and the twist just took you to another dimension. Thank you.
Oh no, thank you so much. That could have gone one of two ways. I didn't know what you were going to say there, so I'm relieved that it was that, and that makes me really happy. So thank you.
You're so welcome. I love how you took everyday things and turned them into terrifying nightmares with hilarious undertones to them.
That's it. That's a great description of that's literally all we said we were going to do, and that was it. So
okay.
That's perfect.
I could tell you had a blast with this, like writing it with your other partners, Ryan and William. Like, how did you come up with this concept?
You know, we had been working together for a long time on content like this. So this was all based on an Instagram and YouTube channel that we had where we made 1 minute comedy content for years. We did this for 4 years, and we gained a little bit of a following. It was bigger than it is right now. It's kind of fallen off because we kind of stopped doing the Instagram stuff. But yeah, we got an audience reaction. We make a 1 minute short film every week, and some of the sketches that were in this one are actually originally those that we expanded into these bigger stories. So that's sort of where we figured out how to make the mundane joke about something simple. We figured out the weird tone, and this was sort of our last hurrah with those kind of jokes, you know. And we just wanted to make it big, and exactly what you said, like fun came first. It was like, how much fun can we just have and just take people on a weird little ride, and that's what we tried to do. So
Okay. What I noticed is that there were some parodies that were going on in them, and each segment reminded me of previous movies. Was that what the plan was?
Yeah, totally. I think the whole thing was kind of a parody to us, to anthology horror films. I think the comedy kind of says that about it. It's more silly than all of it is. So we're kind of poking fun at while showing our appreciation for anthology films. And then of course each chapter had its own sort of influence from different films. Like in the Edna one, it's Reanimator was a big thing for us. All over the place, you know, down to the mobster stuff. We wanted that to be just a cliche mobster wild little ride. You know, the last one with the dad is sort of it's a lot of horror heroes, you know. It feels like a lot of different things, but totally, that was the idea. And it just make it like a midnight movie lovers experience where you can feel all the inspiration through that, you know.
They were all great. One of them just had me, well, all of them actually had me bursting out loud, like laughing. Like I would sit there and just like, ha! And it tickled me so bad because I'm like, I can't believe he did that. I can't believe.
That makes me so happy. I mean, this is the first bit of press I've done, and it makes me so happy to hear that because we don't know. I've seen it in front of an audience. I'm literally going today to see it in front of an audience. I'm excited to see the reaction, but it's just amazing to hear that. So thank you.
You're so welcome. The cast in this, they seem, like I said, everybody looked like they had a lot of fun. But the host, I really did. He was vibing and very cool and collective. But also he had such a creepy undertone when he talks about the segments. Like, he was amazing. Where did you find him?
We found him just through casting online. We went through a lot of different auditions, and we just thought that would be the perfect fit for the world. And yeah, I mean, we tried to make our own Ron Sterling from the Twilight Zone, but Ron Sterling on acid, kind of. And that's kind of what the notes were to him. It was like, just do it this way. And speaking monotone was a big thing. We wanted it to be kind of the voice of our humor. So it's like, play it straight. You're taking this seriously, but we're going to throw you in ridiculous outfits and situations to make it just weird and crazy. So he was amazing. It was great.
Some of the segments I noticed in the background, there were like signs or like picture frames with words on it, and it kind of relate to what the situation was going on, especially like the first one, game night, when he was like walking and then you could see the sign that says narrow road, and everything seems to shrink around it. Was that intentional? Because I noticed that in some of the segments.
You're gonna hate this answer, but no, it was. But I did notice the narrow sign in editing. So you notice things like that. There really wasn't. I mean, as far as like in Edna, the second one, her apartment had different things on the walls where it was like just fitting to her personality, really, and what she's going through. But beyond that, no. I mean, that's one of the cool things about making a movie, though. You figure out it just does happen to work out, you know.
Yeah, like I said, each segment had such a twist, and you took something and took it to the extreme, and you don't see that often in horror. Like, you see something and then you're like, oh, okay, it's gonna go one way, and then you're playing off something. Like, I wish I had best friends that would go that far for me. Right.
Yeah, same here. I think that's why it was written. It's a fantasy to have friends that would go that far, literally die for you. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. And I mean, when they were trying to do whatever, there was something that he said. He was like, man, can I see it? I was like,
yeah.
That tickled me so bad. I laughed for like 2 minutes.
Oh, great. That's the whole idea. I'm so glad you had this reaction to it. It makes me so happy.
Look, you're welcome. So where was all these shot? Was these all shot in the same area, different locations?
It's just all over LA we shot this. Like, we when we write stuff, we kind of have in mind, like, okay, we're not going to have a ton of, especially for stuff like this, we're not going to have a ton of money, so you kind of just write with locations in mind. The game night house was our DP, executive producer's house. So we shot that there, and that needed to look, there was another little sound stage sort of thing for indie films that we shot over in Anaheim. That was a lot of our locations, the hospital, Edna's apartment. Luckily, we had a little bit of experience from my first film on how to sort of navigate that, and that's a big part of it, though, because we wanted it to feel big, and the more you jump around in locations and the more different it feels, it just tends to feel bigger, even if it's not. You know, you're still spending the same amount of money you would have if it was in a similar place. So, yeah, it's just thought of beforehand, and we know a lot of weird locations that we can get our hands on. So,
I have to say, I would never look at cream cheese the same.
Oh yeah, that goes for all of us. We were cracking up during that.
I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and that one we have mixed feelings on, because we were like, we really took it there, and that's why it's so short. We wanted it to be like, all right, you got to get in and out of there, because that one's really, really nuts. But I heard in London when it was at Fright Fest, that one did the best, which made me really happy, and people have responded to it pretty great, and that one's really disturbing to me.
Oh.
It's
that's why it's in the middle.
Yeah, and it's fast. That one's it feels like it's an hour, but it's literally 5 minutes. It's like it's a 5-minute sketch. So yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy. How did you get to Dredge Central?
What we did was they did my first, Epic Pictures, which is they're involved with them. They did my first movie, Buck Boy, and which is ridiculous to say, but and we had shot 2 of these episodes sort of on spec, or we were going to put it out independently. We weren't sure what we were going to do with it. I just sent it to them on a limb, because I was just sending it around to people, and they were like, hey, you want to turn this into an anthology film? And they were so amazing. Everybody there was so amazing, because they just let me run free, and that's what gives it that energy of being so crazy and out there, is like we were allowed to do that, and it was just it was an awesome experience. I can't thank them enough. It was just amazing. So
yeah, Dredge Central is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So it's in selected theaters today.
Yes,
right?
It is.
Yeah. And it will be on demand September 6th, and Blu-ray much later in October.
Yes. And just it'll be on Apple TV, Amazon, all
everywhere.
over. everywhere. So we want it to be a weird Halloween movie that friends are whispering to each other to check out, and that was our goal from the beginning. And we're so glad it's coming out right around Halloween too, because it's like a stoner Halloween movie.
Well, it was fun, it was hilarious, it was shocking, it was weird, it was gross, it was like, it had some little bit of gore in there. It had everything you could ever want in an anthology. It was so good.
You're making
one of
my day
favorites.
right now.
It's one of my favorites now. When I was like, this is different. I've never seen this right on.
Oh man, you're kidding. That's exactly what we wanted. Everything you just said was what we were going for, and we just wanted it to be different, and that's the main thing. So it makes it literally, this is why you do it. You hear people say stuff like that, and it just makes it all worth it. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You are so welcome. Everybody have to check this out. Tell everybody. See it in selected theaters. If you can't, September 6th on demand. Watch it, enjoy it, and own it on Blu-ray in October. It is a blast. It's worth to put in your collection. It is really good.
Thank you so much, man. This is great. And tell your friends about it too. We want word of mouth to get around. That's important.
we got to get it around. We got to get it around. Thank you so much for joining me on this. It is an honor.
Oh well, thank you. It was so nice to meet you.